Hey Grace Church, back with more resources for you. Remember, the links to each of these resources are in the description just below this video. First resource I have for you is The Imperfect Disciple by Pastor Jared Wilson, Grace for people who can't get their act together. If you feel like that describes you, this is a great book for you. It was my favorite read of 2019 and I commend it to you. For your devotional this week, I don't have a copy of it because I've given all of my copies away, but it's The Songs of Jesus by Pastor Tim and Kathy Keller. This is a book of devotionals on the Psalms, and if you start today, this time next year, you'll have gotten through the whole book of Psalms, as well as had some brief meditations each day by Pastor Tim Keller and his wife Kathy. And so I commend that book to you as a beautiful and concise meditation each day on the Psalms that gets you in the Scriptures and allows you to focus your attention on the Lord that day. In fiction this week, we have The Road by Cormac McCarthy. So a couple of disclaimers on this one. Number one, if you are anxious about the pandemic right now, this is probably not the book for you. It is a post-apocalyptic work of fiction, which means it can often get scary and dark and even fairly violent in parts. But if you're the kind of person who is currently binge watching Contagion or finding pandemic documentaries on Netflix, this is the book for you. It's a great picture of hope and love triumphing in the midst of a world in ruin. For your old book this week, I'm holding in my hands a copy of Pilgrim's Progress. Pilgrim's Progress was written a few hundred years ago. It's a classic work of Christian literature. And if you haven't yet read it, I would encourage you in this season when your life is in many ways on pause to pick it up and spend this season engaging with this classic book. The title character, as many of you might know, is Christian. And as he goes on his journey through everywhere from the Slough of Despond to the gates of heaven, we can in many ways sympathize with and find encouragement from his journey as it mirrors our own. So I encourage you to pick this up and read it during this season. A podcast I want to commend to you this week is The Briefing by Dr. Albert Mohler. Each day, Dr. Mohler takes the slurry of news that we're getting and condenses it into 2 or 3 big headlines and analyzes those headlines from a Christian worldview. Commend to you especially even today's edition of The Briefing, in which he takes our Lieutenant Governor's comments and uses them to show us how we as Christians approach the difficult balance between getting the economy back on track and valuing human life. So I commend Dr. Mohler's The Briefing to you today. And then finally, for your music recommendation, I would be remiss to get through 2 weeks of music without recommending to you one of my favorite artists, Andrew Peterson. And the song I have linked for you there is The Dark Before the Dawn. I would encourage you to listen to that song, to listen to the whole album, and to listen to Andrew Peterson's entire collection. As an artist, Andrew Peterson has encouraged me deeply in my Christian walk, and I know he'll do the same for you. So know, Grace Church, this week that I'm praying for you. I hope you engage with these resources, and I hope you continue to grow in your faith. I love you, and I hope to see you soon.